Alright, I hope this is working. Probably should write some stuff down before I actually record these videos. I've been going at this a bit haphazardly, so I thought I'd slow down and think about what I'm going to post. And so that's what I'm doing. Probably should write some stuff down, but I'm a person who gets a little excited and just dives right into stuff. Generally, I have to force myself to slow down and think about stuff. So, for this next video, it killed me to wait to tune up the Mini last night. So it's just been sitting strung up from the last video on the bench here, and I've been waiting to tune it up to pitch and just see how everything works and intonate it for the next video, and just do a quick comparison between it and the other completely stock Squier Mini that we have. Jesus, my hair looks crazy. That's probably why you don't normally see my face on camera. Okay, taking quite a while to rig up here. Silly video. But what I was hoping to do today is show this. Sorry, and I'm going to be probably looking at my computer here because it's right next to me. So what I was hoping to show you today is the work that we've completed over the last few days. We've got new saddles installed, new tuners installed, and so I'm going to be tuning it up to pitch because I haven't done that yet. And then we'll stretch the strings and we'll see how well they stay in tune. And then hopefully we'll do a little comparison about how this one is now different from the stock one, which has had obviously nothing changed. So I'm actually looking forward to having two of exactly the same guitar to be able to compare. If any of the updates were useful. So it'll be a nice little test, and hopefully we'll get a couple of good videos out of it. Alright, I'm trying something new recording-wise here just to get a new angle. Bit better light. Now I've already gone ahead and done a little bit of the work. I've checked the neck. The neck's fairly straight. It's got a good amount of relief. There are several ways to skin a cat, and while certainly there are more professional ways to do this and authentic, or whatever you want to call it, definitely you can achieve the same result if you're willing to kind of understand how this works and MacGyver together your own close enough results, which is really what I've been doing. And when I can afford it, I'll buy some of these tools from StewMac, but for the time being, I'm just going to go ahead and do this the way I've been doing it. The result's been pretty good for me. So I'll just show you how I've been doing. It's not rocket science. All I do to check the neck relief is just check to see if the neck is straight. Just put a straight edge on it. And then just get a feeler gauge. Just get a feeler gauge underneath to see what sort of relief I've got. And the relief on this one is pretty good. So the neck is good. So we're assuming that is we're assuming that's good going into it. So really all I'm doing now is setting string height, which is the distance from the string to the fret, and intonation, so that at the 12th fret the note is the same as the string when played open. So that said, I just use one of these little shark tuners. To be perfectly honest, this is close enough for me. I mean, you can buy lots more expensive tuners, but these things work great. I've got a couple of them. I keep one on kind of every guitar I have, and I like them. I find them pretty accurate. So let's grab a pick here and just get this thing in tune, or roughly in tune, and then stretch out the strings. Look at that. I tuned that to an E last night. I tuned it to I tuned it by ear last night, just bringing the strings up. Actually, in the last video. So I haven't touched this guitar since the last video. And I just brought the strings up, and that happened to be an E. So not so lucky with this. That's a B. We'll bring that to an A. So I like to give my strings a good tug once I've brought them up to pitch. And then, and I don't really worry about getting these perfectly in tune. I get them pretty close while I'm stretching them. So I string well past the note that I want. And so I just keep stretching them like this until they stop going out of tune. That's basically it. So I'm going to pause the video here and I'll be back with the rest. Okay, so this is how I set string height. Basically you want to follow the radius of the neck. And like I said, when I replaced the string saddles here, the bridge saddles, they're already roughed in, so the radius of the neck is already sort of there. And really what I tend to do, which is sort of the point of doing this, is to set the string height as low as it can be without buzzing on any fret. And certainly you can measure it and set it to factory spec, and I've done that. But I don't really have all the stuff you need to do that. So it's a real pain to do with a digital caliper, which you can do, but I find this works for me, and it's a bit more MacGyver and a bit more my speed. So this is just generally the way I tend to do it. And if it goes really south, then that's when I break out the measuring stuff. But if I'm pretty well roughed in and I've already checked it, it's not too bad already. So anyway, basically that's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to check each string, each fret, make sure there's no buzz, and set the string height that way. So I got my little Allen key, stick that down. Okay, so there's already no string buzz, but that does feel a little bit high. So I'm gonna drop that down a little bit. And it's good to count the number of revolutions on each of these, the same height. So I brought that down 2 turns. Okay, this is definitely not the best recording setup. My video just started screwing up there. Anyway, like I was saying, I dropped this one just a little bit, and I'm going to basically recheck it and see how it feels. That actually feels perfect just by eyeballing it. So now I'm going to check the next string and basically just keep going that way. So I'm not going to film all that, but that's essentially the way I go. And then I visually try to just maintain the same radius as the neck. And there are tools you can get to check the actual radius to make sure that it's perfect. But hey, I'm just your average guy sitting at home without all these luthier tools, and that's kind of the point. This isn't meant to be instructional in any way. I'm not doing this to prove that I'm, you know, a professional luthier. I'm doing this to show you that this is how a regular guy works this stuff out at home, with just sort of the tools you have available, without ordering a lot of specialty tools. And I do have a few specialty tools, but I don't have everything, you know, professional luthier would have, and that's kind of the point. I'm just sort of trying to work this stuff out with what I've got at hand and what I can get my hands on. Isn't terribly expensive. So that's how I'm going. And right or wrong, all the guitars I have that I've laid my hands on play well. People who pick up my guitars tend to tell me that they feel like they play well. That's really kind of the point, isn't it? You want to pick up a guitar that feels like it plays well, and that's just sort of who I am. Anyway, I'm going to leave this part of it here, and I'll catch up back with you when I've finished. Okay, it's done. Like I said, all I did was go through every string. I've visually looked at it, and you can see there's a bit of a radius. That's hard to see, but I have tried to follow as best I could the radius of the fretboard. But essentially, I just went down the whole neck here, and it feels good now, and there's no fret buzz. So just every string feels good. And no buzz. So that's kind of the point. So the next thing I'll go ahead and set up here is intonation, which is way out. Yeah, I can spin this around and show you. But if that might be hard. See if I can turn that on. Okay, so let's tune that up to pitch. Wow, this is hard to see. This is hard to do backwards. And there is a lot of noise in the background, which is throwing this tuner off a bit. Okay. Close enough. So here at the 12th fret, actually that's not too bad. Huh, that just happens to be perfect. Alright, so let's try this again. A couple of things are becoming really quickly clear to me about recording videos and putting them on YouTube. Editing takes a bloody long time. My recording setup is not ideal. I need a new microphone. But I'm doing the best with what I got here. Like I said, I'm using an external kind of camera here that's supposed to be HD 720p. It was discarded sitting in a corner in my wife's office, so I grabbed it. And yeah, I'm using headphones from my cell phone and my laptop, my computer. So this is really a pretty MacGyver situation. But if I keep going this way, and if I keep getting subscribers and views, maybe I'll invest some money into some real recording equipment. But for the time being, I'm going to manage the best I can with what I've got here and bodge together what I can. Anyway, so like I said, there's a million videos on how to do string intonation. Essentially, play the note open to pitch. So tune to pitch. Play the 12th fret. And you can see this one's out just slightly. So just come back here to the adjustment screw, which is right there. Okay, and essentially all you're doing is you're changing the string distance from the nut to where the string meets the saddle, and you're either moving it forward or you're moving it back to either make the note sharp or make the note flat, depending on where it is. So I'm a bit sharp. Make small micro adjustments until those two line up. It's not rocket science. So I'm going to carry on and do this because it's exceedingly hard to do while staring at the monitor of my computer and trying to look at this tuner through that instead of directly at it. Okay, so that's how I do it. Works out every time. Not rocket science. Tons of videos online about how to do that, and exactly. So like I said, this is not a teaching channel. I'm not here to give people instructions on how to do this stuff. I'm just showing you how I work this stuff out. Alright, just a couple final words here. Everything turned out to be pretty damn close already. Just needed a few minor adjustments, so it was well worth checking the bridge saddles when I replaced them one at a time. Because like I said, everything was already pretty well intonated when I checked it. So just grabbing the calipers and sticking them right here in between the bridge saddle and the end of the bridge, and just getting a kind of a rough measurement there and locking it. And then I would just lock it and use that as my measurement for where to set the next bridge saddle's length.
So I promised a little sound demo. I'm not going to bore you with a real long sound demo. I am a crap player. I'm just in the rock position here, right down the bottom bridge pickup. Crank it right up, a little distortion.